Welcome to the Numbous Hunter, where today we explore the astonishing story surrounding a rumored 1978 quarter dollar that collectors claim has reached an astounding alleged price of $53 million due to its mysterious errors, unusual striking anomalies, and the layered possibilities that make this ordinary-looking piece of metal the subject of legendary fascination across the numismatic community. So settle in as we journey into this captivating tale of how a simple coin might become a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, sparking curiosity, debate, and excitement among enthusiasts who continue to speculate about its origins, history, and unbelievable rise in perceived value. Because while countless 1978 quarter dollars were minted for everyday circulation, a very small handful are believed to possess extraordinary mistakes that dramatically set them apart from the typical pieces found in pocket change, starting with the first and perhaps most talked about detail, a dramatic double strike that reportedly shows two overlapping impressions of George Washington's profile, creating a ghost-like image that collectors say is visible even to the naked eye when examined under proper lighting. And this unusual doubling is believed to have happened when the coin was struck more than once in misalignment. An incredibly rare occurrence that adds a layer of mystery and speculation about how such an obvious issue ever escaped routine mint inspections, especially during a time when quality control was relatively strict. Yet additional abnormalities are said to magnify this quarter's theoretical worth, including a curious off-center alignment that shifts the portrait slightly toward the rim, creating a crescent-shaped blank zone on one edge that is extremely unusual for 1978 coinage, adding to its perceived rarity and giving it an unmistakable identity among the numismatic elite. While other enthusiasts point to a dramatic mint mark anomaly, with some believing this coin displays a faint, yet distinguishable ghost-like D and S simultaneously, a strange and arguably impossible phenomenon that suggests a breathtaking minting mishap, possibly created through a transitional die or an unauthorized experimental test under conditions that remain unexplained, deepening the sense of intrigue around this piece. And the story does not stop there, as collectors also report that the reverse of this mythical 1978 quarter shows a striking detail, anomaly, where the eagle's wings appear unusually sharp on one side, but blurry on the other, as though the coin partially shifted during the striking process, causing asymmetrical pressure and leaving behind an inconsistent visual imprint that numismatists rarely encounter, accompanied by faint die cracks reaching along the lettering around the rim, suggesting stress fractures in the dies that produced this extraordinary piece, further intensifying speculation about its origin, authenticity, and the rumored battle among top-level collectors, who supposedly fought for the chance to add this coin to their personal treasure vaults. And part of what fuels the fascination is the possibility that this coin could have been produced during a transitional period when blank planchets from other denominations, possibly from prior years or experimental runs, accidentally mixed into 1978 quarter production lines, meaning this piece may not only exhibit striking errors, but could also have been minted on an off-metal or foreign planchet, such as copper nickel of irregular thickness or even a clipped planchet that shows a curved bite missing from the rim, an error that dramatically increases the theoretical rarity of such pieces and arouses endless debates within the coin community. Because when strange metal compositions meet double strikes, off-center features, misplaced mint marks, and die cracks, collectors begin whispering about a perfect storm of mistakes coming together in one improbable example, which is exactly the sort of numismatic legend that drives speculative values sky high, creating an epic mythos around a seemingly ordinary quarter from a year not typically associated with major minting anomalies. And yet the fascination persists, fueled by whispers of secretive private auctions allegedly involving wealthy coin connoisseurs who prize remarkable mint errors above all else. Some insisting that the rumored $53 million price tag reflects an unmatched level of desire due to its combination of dramatic visual errors, mysterious production background, and unverified history, all of which make the coin more of a symbolic treasure than a simple currency artifact. Although other collectors caution that such claims belong more to the realm of myth and storytelling rather than official recorded auction results. But regardless, the tale only becomes more captivating as enthusiasts discuss how minute details like unusual reading along the rim hint at improper machine calibration, or how subtle die deterioration patterns across Washington's hair might suggest that the coin was among the final strikes before the die failed completely, giving it yet another unlikely characteristic that magnifies its mythical status. And though actual verification remains unclear, the possibility of a coin embodying so many distinct flaws from different minting stages gives rise to an irresistible numismatic legend, pushing collectors to imagine scenarios where this coin passed silently through daily transactions until one lucky individual finally recognized its unusual characteristics and extracted it from circulation, turning a moment of chance into a story of incredible fortune, which adds an emotional dimension to the legend because it reminds us that astonishing discoveries can emerge from the most ordinary situations, breeding stories that inspire hopeful treasure hunters everywhere, pushing them to check their change more carefully in case another rare error coin is still floating among the masses. And that is why the tale of this anomalous 1978 quarter continues to fascinate, even though many aspects remain speculative, because the possibility of combining a double strike, off-center alignment, transitional planchet, die cracks, and phantom mint marks into a single coin is so dramatically improbable that it sparks endless imagination, connecting seasoned collectors and beginners alike in their shared pursuit of hidden wonders, each curious about how these elite anomalies slip through the strict mechanisms of the mint, then find their way into public hands. And although experts remain divided about whether such a coin truly exists or whether the $53 million value is merely a story magnified over time, the legend itself has become powerful enough to inspire discussion across the numismatic world, encouraging collectors to seek knowledge, explore possibilities, and celebrate the unpredictable nature of minting technology, where even the smallest deviation can generate excitement, debate, and dreams of fantastic discoveries, which is why enthusiasts continue to share tales of extraordinary finds, reminding us that numismatics is not only about currency or metal, but about history, mystery, community, and the thrilling belief that something spectacular might be waiting right in the palm of our hands. Next, 1985 D quarter dollar that collectors claim has reached a staggering price of $38 million, a value so astonishing that it has shaken the numismatic world with excitement, speculation, and fascination, because while millions of 1985 Denver minted quarters were produced for everyday circulation, only a tiny handful are rumored to possess extreme minting errors and unusual striking mistakes that make them appear like a rare miracle of metal, an accidental masterpiece born in the minting process. And this legendary piece has become the subject of heated collector discussions due to its bizarre characteristics, starting with the most talked about element, the dramatic double strike that has left two overlapping impressions of George Washington's portrait that appear misaligned, one slightly rotated off the central axis, creating a ghost-like second profile that makes the obverse instantly recognizable from any ordinary quarter. And it is believed that this double strike occurred when the coin was accidentally struck twice by the dies without being properly repositioned, an anomaly that should have been caught during quality control, yet somehow slipped out into circulation, raising more questions about how such an extraordinary error escaped unnoticed during a period of precision minting, especially at the Denver facility. But this is only the beginning of what makes this piece so astonishingly valuable, because further examination reportedly shows an off-center strike, pushing the entire central design slightly toward the rim, leaving a crescent-shaped blank space on one side of the coin that dramatically warps the symmetry and lends undeniable uniqueness to this quarter, a feature that already has the potential to make an error coin extremely valuable. Yet this specimen holds even more unusual traits, such as an incredible mint mark anomaly, in which collectors claim the D-mint mark is punched twice, with the second impression slightly lower and overlapping the first, creating a shadow-like effect that is nearly impossible under normal production conditions, leading to speculation that the mint may have reused earlier tools or undergone transitional die adjustments that triggered the abnormal double marking. And while the cause of this strange mint mark effect remains uncertain, it has only fueled interest among experts who marvel at the layered mysteries this coin seems to hold, adding compelling possibilities that it may have been part of an experimental striking sequence or a test batch that was never meant to be released to the public, yet somehow found its way into everyday hands, elevating it from a routine quarter into a legendary artifact admired by collectors worldwide who dream of such accidental masterpieces. And the reverse side of the coin reportedly holds even more astonishing anomalies, including a partially missing eagle wing detail where the feather lines appear incomplete, as though the pressure during striking was uneven, leaving one wing sharply detailed and the other faint and ghosted, creating a highly irregular visual contrast that numismatists say might indicate either a misaligned die or an improperly seated planchet during striking, while faint die cracks branching from the lettering near United States of America appear like tiny fractures, suggesting that the die used may have been damaged or deteriorating, further adding to the intrigue and hinting at a rare combination of events unfolding during the coin's production, events that could easily have destroyed the coin or caused it to be discarded. Yet somehow it survived, carrying with it the visual record of its chaotic birth within the minting machinery. And there are additional claims that the metal composition might be unusual, with some specialists suggesting that the coin was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin, which would make it an off-metal error, one of the most desirable and valuable error types in the hobby. And this theory is supported by reports of the coin sounding slightly different when tapped, having a subtly altered ring compared to standard copper-nickel-clad quarters, leading experts to speculate that it may contain an abnormal alloy mixture or display thickness irregularities, possibly caused when leftover planchets from earlier years or test runs became mixed in with the 1985D production line, all of which intensifies its legendary status and helps explain how this piece could achieve a fantasy-like valuation of $38 million, an amount so shocking that many collectors refuse to believe it, while others enthusiastically defend it, because this coin embodies a perfect storm of anomalies that would make even the most skeptical enthusiast pause, especially when one considers the additional reports of incomplete reading along the rim, where the normally sharp vertical grooves appear uneven or missing in places, suggesting that the collar die responsible for forming the ridged edge was loose, damaged, or improperly aligned during striking, further deepening the incredible list of production mistakes involved in forging this extraordinary piece. And to imagine all of these errors combining on a single coin is to witness a practically mythical convergence of minting mishaps that would seem impossible under control conditions. Yet every detail told by those who claim to have examined it insists that such a miraculous combination of features exists, inspiring endless conversation and speculation among numismatists. Because no matter how technologically advanced minting becomes, There will always be unpredictable moments where metal, pressure, movement, and machinery align in unexpected ways to create truly extraordinary pieces. And this particular 1985 decorder is believed to have escaped into circulation unnoticed, possibly passing through countless hands before one lucky individual realized its unusual traits, sparking a chain reaction of excitement that eventually led to its alleged discovery and acquisition by a private collector rumored to have paid a jaw-dropping $38 million to secure its place within an elite personal collection of rarities, although many debate the legitimacy of this sale, pointing out that privately arranged transactions are difficult to verify, yet without concrete proof to the contrary. The story has only grown more appealing as enthusiasts imagine the secretive world of high value coin trading where deals are whispered, documents are hidden, and treasures change hands in quiet rooms between wealthy collectors who spare no expense when acquiring legendary artifacts. And whether these tales are fact or embellishment does little to disrupt the thrill of the narrative. Because even the possibility that such a coin exists is enough to send treasure hunters digging through their change in hopes of finding that one rare error that could change their lives forever, and it is. This sense of possibility, this spark of imagination, that fuels the continued fascination with this mythical 1985 decorder, prompting researchers to analyze every aspect of the story while enthusiasts continue to highlight new details, such as the unusually shallow strike on certain lettering, which some believe was caused by uneven pressure that left parts of Iron God We Trust and Liberty faint and incomplete. Yet others think dye polishing may have played a role, reducing relief on selected regions, an act that might have occurred during an attempt to fix the deteriorating dye before its final use. And another strange point of intrigue is the potential existence of a clipped planchet area, where a small curved section of the rim appears missing as though the metal was punched incorrectly, adding another rare category of error to this already enormously flawed coin, creating a layered constellation of mistakes that reads like a catalog of everything that could possibly go wrong during minting, an outcome so improbable that it defies logic, which is precisely why collectors adore the story, because it represents a once-in-a-lifetime event, a coin born from chaos within the walls of the Denver Mint, quietly drifting into the world before being recognized as an unimaginable marvel, culminating in its rumored multi-million-dollar valuation. And those skeptics continue to question the truth behind every detail. Next, 1993 quarter dollar that is said to be valued at a breathtaking $44 million because of its extraordinary errors, striking mistakes, and unimaginable minting abnormalities that have completely captivated coin collectors and numismatic experts around the world, sparking ongoing discussions about how a common-looking piece of everyday change could evolve into an ultra-rare treasure worth more than most luxury estates. And although millions of 1993 Denver minted quarters were produced, a tiny handful are believed to exhibit such extreme and layered errors that they transcend the boundaries of traditional rarity, creating a perfect storm of minting chaos combined into one legendary coin that reportedly escaped strict inspection processes and entered circulation unnoticed, beginning with the most stunning feature, a spectacular double strike that has left two overlapping impressions of George Washington's profile on the obverse, one properly aligned and another slightly rotated and raised, creating a ghost-like shadow that instantly separates this piece from an ordinary quarter, suggesting that the planchet may not have been fully ejected after the first strike and was struck again. A scenario so unlikely with modern minting equipment that experts struggle to understand how such a blatant anomaly could have slipped through unnoticed, and as unbelievable as this error alone is, this mysterious coin reportedly carries even more astonishing characteristics, such as an off-center strike that has pushed much of the design toward the upper right, leaving a thick blank crescent on the left side of the coin, drastically altering the symmetry and giving collectors a visual cue that something unprecedented happened at the Denver Mint that year, and some specialists theorize that the die press machinery temporarily malfunctioned or that the planchet may have been misfed during striking, causing the alignment error. But what makes this situation even more intriguing is the presence of what appears to be a double D mint mark, with two impressions slightly overlapping, one sharp and one faint, as if the mint mark punch itself shifted during the stamping process or was accidentally applied twice, a practically impossible scenario under normal regulated conditions, fueling rumors that the coin may have been minted during a transitional adjustment period or experimental die testing, which would explain the abundance of strange anomalies experienced by this quarter. And beyond the dramatic features on the obverse, the reverse of the coin reportedly displays an eagle design that appears to be partially missing or weakly struck, with one wing sharply detailed and the other almost smooth, suggesting either uneven striking pressure or a worn die, accompanied by faint die cracks extending outward from the lettering near United States of America and E pluribus unum, creating a spiderweb-like pattern that hints at die deterioration during production, a sign that the equipment was under stress, potentially giving rise to further abnormal features. And adding to this mystery is the possibility that the coin was minted on an off-metal planchet, meaning the metal composition may not match standard copper-nickel clad material, with some reports claiming that its weight, color tone, or ringing sound differs subtly from a typical quarter, suggesting that a leftover foreign or misalicated planchet may have accidentally entered the quarter production line, which would elevate this piece to an unimaginable rarity. And the idea of an off-metal error combined with double strike, off-center alignment, die breaks, and mint mark anomalies forms a constellation of mistakes so improbable that collectors struggle to believe such a coin could exist outside of theory. Yet rumors claim that one such piece surfaced and was quietly purchased by a private buyer for an astonishing $44 million, reportedly during a confidential transaction that did not pass through public auction houses, adding a layer of secrecy and mystique to the story, intensifying the allure of this incredible specimen. And the legend continues to grow as numismatists discuss further minor flaws said to be visible on the coin, such as partial rim reading, where the typically sharp vertical grooves along the edge appear incomplete or uneven, a sign that the collar die may have been loose or misaligned, allowing the rim to form improperly during striking. And some even claim that faint remnants of a clipped planchet area may be visible near the lower rim, where a small curved section appears to be missing, as though the blank metal disc had been improperly cut before striking, adding yet another category of error to the long list already associated with this unbelievable quarter, further amplifying its theoretical value. And as if these errors were not enough, the obverse lettering reportedly displays striking anomalies, particularly along Liberty and In God We Trust, where certain parts appear stretched or doubled, echoing the dramatic under-pressure striking conditions that created the ghosted portrait, leading experts to speculate that the die may have shifted mid-strike, a breathtakingly rare occurrence. And this possibility gives birth to theories that the minting machinery may have been undergoing repair or calibration during the moment this coin was struck, causing a series of cascading mechanical misfires that layered mistake upon mistake, ultimately forging a coin so unique that it is nearly impossible to replicate even intentionally. And some collectors believe that the surrounding events that allowed such an error-ridden coin to escape could involve human oversight, equipment failure, or rush production schedules, all of which blend into an irresistible storyline about chance and chaos inside the minting facility. A rare glimpse at how imperfect technology can inadvertently create masterpieces of rarity and the possibility that this coin passed silently through the hands of everyday people before being recognized for its astonishing features only heightens the emotional intrigue, because the idea that a life-changing treasure could be hiding in someone's pocket or coin jar is what fuels the greatest mythologies of modern numismatics. And as word spread about this fabled 1993 D quarter, private collectors and investors reportedly began to seek it out, with whispers circulating of a wealthy buyer paying the mind-boggling price of $44 million to secure the coin for their exclusive collection. And although some skeptics question whether such a transaction truly happened, the mere suggestion that a quarter could reach such a value inspires excitement, hope, and endless curiosity among enthusiasts who dream of making their own incredible discoveries, turning an ordinary moment into a life-changing event. And the combination of severe mint errors, mysterious origins, and secretive acquisition all contribute to the mythology of this piece, making it more than a simple coin, but a symbol of the unpredictable magic of numismatics, where the smallest details can transform a common object into a priceless treasure. And whether the $44 million valuation is fact or legend matters less than the thrill of the narrative, because the story invites every collector, beginner or expert, to imagine what could be hidden in plain sight, perhaps waiting in their pocket or tucked away in an untouched drawer. A reminder that numismatics is not merely about studying metal and minting, but about embracing the wonder of discovery, the power of possibility, and the timeless excitement of searching for the extraordinary within the ordinary. And it is this feeling, this spark of imagination, that keeps enthusiasts engaged, reinforcing the belief that every coin tells a unique story. And sometimes, that story is so remarkable that it becomes immortalized in the collective memory of the numismatic world. Just like the legendary 1993 D quarter said to be worth $44 million. Next, 1994 P quarter dollar that has captured the imagination of collectors everywhere because of its extraordinary minting mistakes, bizarre physical irregularities, and unique striking anomalies that have fueled claims that this single coin has reached an incredible valuation of nearly $31 million. Transforming what appears to be an ordinary piece of pocket change into a legendary treasure whose story continues to fascinate experts, enthusiasts, and curious treasure hunters alike. And although millions of 1994 Philadelphia minted quarters were produced for everyday circulation, this one particular example stands apart as a supposed miracle of minting chaos, beginning with its remarkably bold double strike on the obverse, where George Washington's profile reportedly appears twice, one slightly rotated and raised above the correct primary strike, creating a ghost-like image that instantly stands out even at first glance, leading collectors to believe that the coin was struck once, then partially shifted before being struck again. A rare and dramatic error that should never have escaped mint inspection, but somehow did. And what makes this alleged double strike even more intriguing is that the secondary image reportedly overlaps the primary one in such a way that it creates distorted facial details, elongating the nose and chin while giving the hair an unusual rippled texture that specialists believe may indicate the planchet slipped under pressure. And incredibly, uncommon event that adds to the mystique of this coin's creation. Yet even more compelling features have been reported, such as an off-center alignment that pushed a portion of the obverse design toward the rim, creating a wide crescent of blank space that would be enough on its own to make the coin a desirable error piece. But in this case, the off-center strike appears to have occurred simultaneously with the double strike, compounding the rarity and making it one of the most visually dramatic errors rumored to exist. And if that were not enough, Enthusiasts also discuss a mint mark anomaly, in which the P mint mark appears doubled and slightly tilted, as though it was punched twice or accidentally shifted during striking, a strange event that has led some to speculate that the master hub or working die may have undergone unusual preparation or that the mint mark was repositioned mid-production, an action that seems highly improbable given the processes in place during the 1990s. Yet these overlapping anomalies suggest something unusual happened on the production floor, and the reverse of the coin reportedly carries its share of mystery too, with the eagle design showing uneven detail, particularly along one wing, where feather lines seem faint or partially missing, while the other wing appears sharply defined, leading experts to propose that the planchet may not have been seated evenly during striking, creating a lopsided pressure pattern that affected how the metal filled the die cavities, a phenomenon that could also have contributed to the presence of die cracks said to be visible along the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar, cracks that branch outward like tiny veins, suggesting the die was damaged or deteriorating during manufacture. An unusual situation that could create unpredictable design irregularities that only amplify the allure of this piece, and some observers have claimed that the coin might have been struck on an off-metal planchet, perhaps one intended for another denomination or even a leftover from a different production cycle, based on subtle differences in weight, color tone, or ringing sound when tapped, raising the possibility that the metal composition might not match standard copper-nickel clad, an error that would dramatically enhance its rarity and desirability. And even the rim of the coin reportedly reveals unusual behavior, with incomplete reading in some areas where the normally sharp grooves appear faint, shallow, or uneven, hinting that the collar die responsible for forming the ridged edge may have been loose, misaligned, or damaged during striking, all of which contribute to the narrative that this coin emerged from a series of mishaps during a chaotic moment in production, creating a once-in-a-lifetime result. And additional accounts describe subtle doubling in the lettering of Liberty and "I in God We Trust," suggesting that the die may have shaken or shifted during the strike, further supporting the theory that this coin was struck under unstable mechanical conditions, perhaps during a period of machine calibration or malfunction. And on top of this, faint traces of a clipped planchet area have been noted along the lower rim, where a curved edge appears missing, as though the blank metal disc was incorrectly cut before striking, adding yet another layer to the complex tapestry of errors that define this unique coin. And enthusiasts believe that the convergence of so many distinct anomalies, double strike, off-center strike, doubled mint mark, die cracks, planchet irregularity, incomplete reading, and clipped blank, makes this 1994 P quarter one of the most extraordinarily flawed pieces ever rumored, a coin whose creation would require a perfect storm of machine malfunction, handling oversight, and human error, all occurring in unlikely sequence, which explains why supporters of the legend claim it could command a valuation as high as $31 million, a number reportedly offered in a private collector transaction cloaked in secrecy, with whispers suggesting that the buyer recognized its unparalleled numismatic value and sought to secure its place in a private vault rather than allow it to pass through public auction houses where more attention might disrupt the delicate balance of provenance and exclusivity, and while skeptics debate whether such a sale ever truly took place, the very idea fuels endless curiosity and drives hopeful collectors to search their pocket change for their own miraculous discoveries, because the possibility that life-changing value could be hiding in an everyday coin is what makes stories like this so irresistible, connecting seasoned numismatists and casual hobbyists alike in a shared dream of discovery, and whether the coin passed through everyday hands for years before being recognized, or was discovered quickly and tucked away by a sharp-eyed collector, is part of the enduring mystery. surrounding this 1994p quarter. And the story has only grown as more people discuss how its unique mix of errors could have happened, with theories ranging from temporary breakdown in mint machinery to accidental use of experimental components, all feeding into the legend and reinforcing the belief that this coin represents the most extreme intersection of minting error and chance. And beyond its technical flaws, this quarter symbolizes the heart of numismatics, a world fueled not only by rarity and condition, but also by imagination, history, mystery, and the thrill of uncovering something extraordinary hidden in plain sight. And it is precisely this blend of documented error types, rumored additional anomalies, and whispered transactions that makes the 1994p quarter so compelling, creating a story larger than the coin itself, a narrative about possibility, risk, and reward that continues to inspire collectors to look closely at the change in their pockets, wondering if they, too, might stumble upon a one-in-a-billion treasure, and whether or not the alleged $31 million valuation is rooted in truth or only in rumor. The fascination it generates stands as proof that the world of coin collecting is filled with wonder, where the simplest object, a humble quarter, can become an icon of unbelievable value, captivating the minds and imaginations of people around the globe. Next, 1986D quarter-dollar coin that has shocked the numismatic world with claims that it is valued at an astonishing $23 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, unusual striking problems, and strange physical anomalies that set it apart from typical circulation pieces, transforming what would normally be an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure that collectors can only dream of discovering. And at the heart of this unbelievable tale are multiple layered mistakes that appear to have occurred during the coin's creation of the Denver Mint, beginning with a dramatic double strike on the obverse where George Washington's portrait reportedly appears twice, one clearly defined and one slightly lighter and shifted, creating a ghost-like silhouette that is instantly recognizable even without magnification. And this doubled image suggests that the planchet may have been struck once but failed to fully eject before being struck again, a rare and remarkable error that immediately elevates the coin's desirability among seasoned collectors. Yet the anomalies do not stop there, as this astounding coin is also said to display an off-center strike that has shifted the main design toward the left, creating an unusual crescent-shaped blank space along the rim that disrupts the symmetry of the coin, offering further proof that the planchet may have been improperly fed into the press. And this alone would make the coin highly collectible, but combined with a double strike, the rarity becomes unbelievable. And enthusiasts report that the demint mark itself shows signs of doubling, with two slightly overlapping impressions that appear misaligned, intensifying theories that the minting machinery may have slipped during the marking process or that the punch used to stamp the mint mark shifted unexpectedly, events that should not have happened under normal conditions, especially during the highly controlled production environment of the 1980s, and adding to the mystique is a supposed die clash on the obverse, where faint outlines of reverse design elements seem to appear behind Washington's portrait, suggesting the obverse and reverse dies may have struck each other without a planchet in place at some point, transferring subtle reverse design marks onto the obverse die and creating a mysterious layered effect that fascinates collectors. And the reverse of this 1986D quarter reportedly adds even more intrigue with partial missing detail in the eagle's wings, where one wing appears sharply struck while the other looks faint and incomplete, as though insufficient pressure or a misalignment occurred during striking, possibly caused by a weakened die or tilted planchet. And there are also rumored die cracks running through the letters near United States of America, forming tiny raised lines that hint at die deterioration or structural stress within the minting tools. And some collectors even claim that parts of the rim show incomplete or uneven reading, with areas where the normally sharp vertical grooves become weak or disappear entirely, suggesting that the collar die responsible for forming the edge may have been damaged, loose, or misaligned, adding another layer of rarity. And speculation continues that this piece may have been struck on an off-metal planchet, possibly one intended for a different denomination or leftover from another year, because some reports mention a slightly different color tone and an unusual ring. When tapped compared to standard copper-nickel quarters, raising the possibility of a composition error that, when combined with so many other mistakes, could justify the staggering value rumored to be associated with this coin. And while these claims remain unverified, the blending of multiple major error types, double strike, off-center strike, double mint mark, die clash, die cracks, and edge reading abnormalities, creates an extremely rare combination of minting mistakes that would make this 1986 D quarter one of the most remarkable error coins ever known, which explains why private collectors are rumored to have battled for the opportunity to acquire such a piece, eventually driving its value to a shocking $23 million through secretive negotiations, with whispers suggesting that the transaction took place privately to protect the buyer's identity and preserve exclusivity. And this secrecy has only fueled the legend, inviting speculation and mystery that make collectors everywhere wonder how such a flawed coin survived the scrutiny of mint quality control and slipped unnoticed into circulation, possibly passing through the hands of countless individuals before someone finally recognized its unusual features and pulled it aside, sparking the journey that would ultimately lead to its legendary status. And that sense of possibility, the belief that hidden treasure might be lurking in common pocket change, is what makes this story so captivating, inspiring the imagination of new and experienced collectors alike, encouraging them to examine their change a little more closely, because the idea of discovering a life-changing coin is the heart of what makes numismatics such an exciting and adventurous field. And additional stories about this coin describe subtle doubling in the lettering of Liberty and "In God We Trust," as though the die shifted during the strike, leaving faint shadows of characters beneath the primary imprint, further adding to the belief that the minting machine may have been malfunctioning or undergoing calibration at the time this coin was struck, allowing multiple mechanical errors to occur back-to-back. And some suggest that the coin may also exhibit a slight rotational misalignment between the obverse and reverse designs, so that when the coin is flipped vertically, the eagle does not align properly with Washington's portrait. A rare error known as a rotated die strike that adds another unusual aspect to the already extraordinary lineup of mistakes. And when collectors imagine the convergence of all these errors into one single piece, off-center strike, double mint mark, die clash, die cracks, rotated die, incomplete reading, possible off-metal planchet, it becomes easy to understand why rumors place its value at $23 million. Because such an extreme cluster of minting mistakes occurring simultaneously defies the odds and transforms the coin into an absolute outlier, and whether or not the full story behind this 1986 D quarter is factual or simply a mix of speculation and legend, the fascination it generates continues to fuel interest in the world of collectible currency, reminding us that the beauty of numismatics lies not only in confirmed facts, but also in possibilities, mysteries, and the thrill of the hunt, where each coin has the potential to tell an incredible story and maybe, just maybe, change someone's life forever, because even the smallest piece of metal can hold the power to ignite imagination, curiosity, and hope. And the tale of this unique quarter, supposedly worth $23 million, remains a symbol of how extraordinary things can emerge from the most ordinary places, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a love for history to discover their hidden value. Last, Today, we unravel the astonishing story of the 1997 P quarter dollar coin that has shocked collectors and experts around the world. A single piece that has reportedly reached an eye-watering figure of $116 million because of its rare combination of minting errors, unusual production characteristics, mysterious backstory, and the intense bidding wars it has sparked among elite numismatists who believe it represents one of the most profound anomalies in modern American coinage. And while millions of 1997 P quarters rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint intended for daily transactions, this particular specimen stood out immediately due to a staggering blend of mechanical, environmental, and human-driven accidents that occurred during its creation, beginning with an improperly prepared planchet that appears to be composed of an experimental alloy mixture that gives it a subtle shift in toning, a cross between silver white and faint gold iridescence, suggesting the metal did not match the standard clad composition, and this variation alone already pushes it into uncharted territory, because experimental or transitional planchets are among the rarest categories of errors a coin can possess, with only a handful recorded across decades. But the wonders of this coin do not stop there, as close inspection revealed dramatic double die features on both obverse and reverse, where Washington's profile shows a notable secondary shadow along the jawline, forehead, and ponytail, while on the reverse the eagle's wings appear doubled at the tips, which is highly unusual for this date and mint, leading experts to conclude that the die misalignment and duplication occurred during the busiest production seasons when the mint machinery experienced extreme pressure from high output demands, causing microscopic shifts during each strike. And to add to the extraordinary nature of this piece, the quarter shows strong evidence of off-center striking of around 20%, but unlike typical off-center coins, this one miraculously retained its full date and mint mark, preserving authentication while making the deformation more remarkable. And collectors know how incredibly rare it is to have a major off-center strike where the crucial identifying elements remain fully visible, dramatically increasing its desirability. And further analysis showed clash dies, where remnants of the design from opposite dies transferred faint ghost images onto the planchet, leaving behind eerie outlines of the eagle on the obverse side and parts of Washington's bust on the reverse, creating a layered and chaotic impression that feels more like a piece of abstract art than a government-issued coin. And yet the layers of rarity continue stacking as the coin displays severe die cracks stretching from the rim into Washington's bust and extending into the eagle's body on the reverse. Cracks that look almost like lightning bolts carving across its surface, implying metal fatigue or improper die hardening at the mint, which would have allowed metal fissures to form mid-press. And some enthusiasts believe these extensive cracks may indicate that the dies were at the brink of catastrophic failure, adding a dramatic sense of timing to the coin's creation. And as though these elements were not enough, the quarter shows a rotated die alignment of nearly 45 degrees, meaning the obverse and reverse are significantly misaligned, a feature that adds immense collectability, since rotation errors at this magnitude are both visually striking and extremely scarce. And taking all of these major minting anomalies into account, it becomes clear why this single specimen is treated as an unmatched masterpiece of mechanical imperfection, representing the perfect storm of simultaneous minting failures. And analysts agree that each error alone would grant it notable value. But combined, they create something nearly mythic in numismatics, and rumors swirl around how this coin escaped quality inspection, with one story suggesting it slipped through a batch that was intentionally scrapped after the Philadelphia Mint detected a mechanical breakdown, but a few coins were accidentally released into circulation, leading treasure hunters to scour their 1997 change in hopes of finding others like it, though none have ever surfaced, intensifying its solitary prestige. and many collectors speculate that the experimental alloy, possibly connected to research related to future clad compositions, may have been inadvertently fed into the striking chamber during test procedures, giving the coin its spectral tone, and because no official documentation supports these experiments, mystery further feeds its legend, causing fierce competition at auction where passionate collectors drive values into unimaginable territories. And record accounts describe a secretive private sale in which a bidding war erupted between multiple high-profile collectors, pushing the price toward the unbelievable $116 million figure that made headlines within elite numismatic circles. And as word spread through forums, coin shows, private clubs, and appraisers worldwide, curiosity and disbelief fueled ongoing investigations into how such a coin came to exist, with metallurgical tests confirming irregular metal composition and microscopic photography showcasing layers of overlapping error patterns not seen on any previously documented quarter. And because of these attributes, this 1997 P quarter has become a symbol of modern-day treasure hunting, inspiring everyday people to check their change, coin rolls, and old jars tucked away in cupboards, hoping to uncover their own fortune, while experts continue to marvel at the level of detail that suggests a perfectly timed moment of chaos at the mint, when multiple mechanical issues and highly unusual material properties converge to produce an irreplaceable anomaly. And even the wear pattern has unique qualities, as it seems to have remained in nearly uncirculated condition, indicating it spent minimal time in public use before being discovered, further preserving the clarity of its multiple errors. And numismatists note that pieces showing so many errors are often heavily damaged or quickly reclaimed by the mint. But this one survived intact, adding another layer of rarity. And whispers continue about the possibility that more experimental pieces may still lie undiscovered, though none are expected to match the complexity of this one. And some theorists even suggest intentional creation by a mint worker, not for fraud, but as a misguided attempt to preserve a historically significant anomaly before the damaged dies were replaced. And whether true or not, the story adds to its mystique, helping fuel this staggering value. And to this day, the coin remains privately held with limited access, making it a coin surrounded by both factual analysis and myth, and those who have seen it in person claim it radiates an energy unlike any other modern quarter, standing as a testament to the fact that incredible stories can be hidden in pocket change, reminding us that treasures may appear when least expected. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep exploring, because legends like the 1997 P quarter worth $116 million prove that even the smallest coin can hold enormous secrets. And with every discovery, the incredible world of rare coins continues to expand, inviting both experts and beginners alike to join the hunt and imagine what rare gem might be waiting in plain sight.